Kari. Kari? Is that
Yes,
right?
yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. We are currently, we have no members of our policy board here for the work session so far. It's an optional thing, so
Okay.
um, I
I'm
guess
just
we'll just,
interested. I'm kind of new to the community and I'm interested in a lot of items on your agenda, the River Walk, and I'm also interested in the ugliest road, being Airport Way. I have been taking a master gardening class and I will have 40 hours to volunteer. And so I certainly want to make Fairbanks a more beautiful place. So I'm just kind of trying to get involved in a multitude of things. And
wow, okay.
yeah. And so I'm just interested in finding more about what's happening in Fairbanks and how I can get involved and help things. Um,
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I mean, wow, fast planning is a great place to start. We do a lot of that stuff. Just in terms of like, if it's not being involved with us, like we know who to point you to. But yeah, the policy board meetings are good. So the this is intended to be like a work session for tomorrow's meeting, and it's kind of a long meandering story. We used to just do this and not advertise it because it
oh,
was really infrequently attended and it was a lot of labor on the staff. And then there was a change in our bylaws that switched it so that we were advertising it. But as you can see, there's no other policy board members here, so
Yeah, not
okay.
yet.
not not yet. But
Okay.
anyways,
Well,
it's a good time to like listen in, and then tomorrow is like the full throttle policy board meeting, which if you have the capacity to attend, that would be um, really
better.
great as well.
Okay. And what time is that meeting tomorrow?
That one is from noon to two.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I should just wait until then. Does that make more sense?
If you have the capacity to attend at that meeting, yeah, we would I would encourage that.
Okay. Why don't I do that and let you guys do the planning beforehand without me trying to
I
listen in?
mean, you're welcome to listen
Yeah.
in and be a
I,
fly on the wall, not a problem, but it's up to you.
But
yeah,
if we
I
don't get any board members that attend right now,
That's
it's gonna
true.
be
We'll
close
close
to
it
meeting
down.
now.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll plan on coming tomorrow. Oh, how will I find the link tomorrow? I found this one in the newspaper.
Yep, it's the same. There will be a link in the newspaper tomorrow, but you can also just
Okay.
go to fastplanning.us, and
Okay.
then on the little banner up top, you'll see there's the community grant image, and then there's a Zoom image. And if you just click that, it takes you to a page where you can just like log in.
Okay. And I'm looking for my camera and I'm not seeing it. I only see my audio. So, um,
Oh, that's because it's a webinar.
okay.
We have a lot of issues with Zoom bombing.
Oh,
And
okay.
so,
Right.
yeah,
I
yeah. So we
remember that as
just,
a high school
yeah,
teacher. Yes. Okay.
exactly. So that's what it is.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll look forward to the meeting tomorrow then.
Okay, thanks,
Okay.
Kari.
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
So did you see Church's vehicle?
Yeah, it's still out there.
Huh.
He's nowhere to be found. Um, we go look again. I mean, I don't know. I don't see him like walking around outside either, and he's not in the truck.
Yeah, he came off the elevator, but I didn't see if he went to the bathroom, if he went into maybe Spelly's office. Like I don't know where he went, but he and I had an interaction and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" He was
Yeah.
good. How are you? So
I'll go back out and look out my window one more time, but I mean, sometimes Scott Kraft calls in a few minutes late, so we'll keep it open for a few more minutes.
yeah.
We can also like close it down, and if church comes in,
Yeah.
we can just sit down with him.
Yeah.
Lack of quorum.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where
Okay, for the record, this is Jackson Fox with Fast Planning. This is the pre-policy board meeting. It is Tuesday, April 14th, and we're kicking this off at 2:38 p.m. We only have one board member present. That's Mayor Church from North Pole. And we're just going to run through with him some highlights, kind of item by item on the agenda, and see if there's any questions before we close out. Olivia, if you go to page 13. One thing I want to make note of to the policy board tomorrow is kind of a briefing on our Highway Safety Improvement Program workshop, which you attended, and to let them know that College Road and Badger Road will be on their agenda in May. So technical committee will take a look at those and see if they support the 3-lane on College and additional roundabouts on Badger. And then that will come to the policy board. So I think that'll be news to the rest of the board. But you and Crystal Tidwell were in attendance, and appreciate you guys coming to that. It's a pretty interesting meeting.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, to look at that, how process works and how sometimes process doesn't work, but here we are on our way through it. So, and these are likely to start up some strong opinions with the public.
Okay.
These particular projects, so it'll be an ongoing dialogue, and we may get testimony on this at maybe not next month's meeting, but maybe at future meetings. So,
okay.
But public testimony is good and debate's good, and we'll see where the board lands on those.
Okay.
With regard to the Chena River Walk,
yep,
that's an action item for tomorrow. Technically, we're still in open public comment, so we can't really discuss a lot, I guess, until the public comment period's closed. But the one update I'll have for the board tomorrow is the city council resolution that was passed last night, opposing the current design and opposing the price tag of the project. So it was unanimous last night on that. So
yeah,
hopefully, if Mayor O'Neill is out of state in Boston, but we're hoping she'll join us online.
Okay.
But Crystal Tidwell, we think she'll be here, but we
Yeah.
also heard she has some travel plans as well.
yeah.
Hopefully the city representatives speak to that resolution and kind of their next steps of the project.
okay.
And then for new materials in the packet, Olivia, if you go to pages 23, 24. I did type up 2 1-pagers. Page 23 is the project nomination and funding history for the Chena River Walk. And really the highlight from this is that it's been in design since 2014, and $852,000 has been spent to date on the design, and $622,000 of that was federal. So if the project doesn't move forward, that's the liability potentially what the state would have to pay back. So it gets anyways, when you start a federal project, it's kind of linear. You kind of got to keep going unless there's some major hiccup where federal highways will allow you to not have to pay the money back.
Could we, and maybe if I'm out of turn asking questions, can we acquire the property without having to do the $7.1 million
Yes.
worth of funding and still be within guidelines of what we need to do for the federal funding and come up with maybe a more conservative plan on how to improve that? Okay,
Yes.
cool.
Yeah, we can still move forward with the land purchase.
Okay.
And task the design team with coming out with a much reduced cost alternative.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yep.
I think securing that is,
I think
important.
it's very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we may lose our opportunity if we don't. at this
Right.
time. Yep.
big one.
And then page 24, Scott Crass had asked, well, this is an open action item. What do you suggest that the board make motions on? And so I've provided a list of topics for which you guys can pick and choose from. You can come up with your own topics. In any of these questions that I have in here, they can be referred back to the technical committee if you guys are all not ready to, make a decision on them. But it's, again, about the cost of the project, the land purchase, the maintenance responsibility, direction for the design team, etc. So that's just there as something, questions to think about as you guys consider motions.
Since this is an agenda and an action item, we can move forward with the purchase if we have the support and a motion is made at tomorrow's meeting.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, the way the board set this up was that the board wanted final authorization on the land purchase before DOT went ahead with the purchase. So negotiations are basically wrapped up between DOT and the railroad.
Okay.
And they're waiting on your answer.
Okay.
And you could make that tomorrow or a future meeting, whatever you like to see.
Okay.
Okay, the next action item is the Metropolitan Plan Area Boundary. Mayor Hopkins asked that this page 25, very next page. Asked that this be listed as an action item if there was no movement on the boundary, being, submitted to the governor for consideration of approval. And I've not heard anything since the last meeting, other than some DOT staff members were assembling a package, I believe, to be delivered to the governor. But I've not heard anything for a few weeks since then, as it's actually moved over.
Okay.
And I don't know what Hopkins has in mind as far as a motion on that one. But it's listed as an action item for the board to direct staff to do something, or direct DOT to do something, as we all see fit.
that sounded from like our last meeting that he really wanted it to be presented to the governor before we took any further action. So hopefully Lauren will have an update.
Yeah, we'll be relying on when we put an update on that.
Okay.
And then page 35. Mayor Hopkins asked for this to be on the agenda as well. He wanted reconsideration of the edits to the new walk, ride and roll advisory committee's roles and responsibilities, the addition of the 4 seats. So to refresh everybody's memory, page 35 has the motions that were made at that meeting, 2 that were approved. You guys changed the meeting frequency, we approved the name change, but the edits to that document, that motion failed, and then the addition of the 40 seats also failed. And provided we're a new policy board, you wanted to see what you all want to do with those this time. I think he's hopeful that they'll pass, but yet that's the conversation you all want. Then the next one is the project enhancement committee meeting frequency on page 40. So we had a project enhancement committee meeting on April 2nd, the day after our last technical committee meeting. And they asked that their meetings become more frequent. So they want to move from a quarterly to every other month, which would be a similar schedule to the Walk, Ride, and Roll Advisory Committee. And then the edit for that to their document is at the bottom or middle of page 40. This would basically match the language that we have as a Walk, Ride, and Roll. Yeah, page 43 shows we still have 2 seat vacancies, one for North Pole and one for the state. Then Libby, if you go back to page 49.
Jeff Jacobson was our project enhancement committee representative for the city of North Pole.
So he is, he's been absent for quite some time. We heard there was an accident.
Yes.
So we don't know if he's returning or not.
Okay. So that vacancy is still in question. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So typically the way we handle it is if there's an absence for 3 consecutive meetings, that position is technically vacated. But it's your seat, and we don't have confirmation with Jeff Jacobson as to whether or not he will continue to serve.
Understood. And then Bethany Spence has been.
She attends every meeting. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, she's been wonderful down at the table.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was prior to me. So
Yeah. Yeah, she works for the school district.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hey, let's see, what's the next one? Bylaw revision. Another request from the Project Enhancement Committee begins with page 44. So related to the same committee, we had on their agenda the election of chair and vice chair, Project Enhancement Committee, because for background, Phoebe Bradley was the chair of this committee. Though she resigned from the committee, she has a lot of other committees that she serves on, either takes them off her plate. So we lost our chair. And then Jeff Jacobson was vice chair. So at this time, like during that meeting, I just ran the meeting for everybody. And when we did the call for, did the election for chair and vice chair, Sue Sprinkle made a motion to like, can't we just go back to the way we used to do this and allow staff to run the meetings for us? So they wanted the bylaws restored so that that was still an option for them. On page 45, it's section 5 of Article 7.
Right.
This was something new that was added during our bylaws revisions last May. So they want to see if the board would be willing to delete section 5.
Okay.
Right now, for the technical committee, staff are allowed to serve in the position of chair and vice chair to run the meetings, but in a capacity that we're not voting members. So we just run the meeting, introduce the items, et cetera, try to run it, in accordance with Robert's Rules of Order. And things flow pretty well. We stay on time. But at this time, we don't have anybody on the project enhancement committee that wants to serve as chair or vice chair. They just want us to facilitate those meetings. So
If we left that and a motion was made to vote you in as the chair, is that not acceptable because you're part of the committee, right?
no, we're not committee members.
Staff.
We're staff to the committee.
Yeah, and then it turns over annually as well, so have to do that every year. Might be a little bit of a burden too.
And then how often are these positions every year?
Yeah, every year we do a call for chair and vice chair.
But as far as the 10 positions, how often are they cycled out? Do they have 3-year term limits, 2-year term limits?
Last year we got rid of term limits. We just stated that if you're gonna join the committee, you need to commit to at least 1 year
Okay.
of serving. But yes, we used to have term limits, but those were removed. Since we lost some folks that really wanted to continue to serve, but they were termed out, and then all of a sudden we're in the situation where it's kind of hard to backfill some of those, but
And John O'Brien for the city of Fairbanks, he's an engineer, correct?
nope, he's their environmental analyst.
Okay.
So, and he does like their stormwater program and such.
I met him out in North Pole the other day, so.
Yep.
I thought he was also in engineering.
No, that seat was previously held by Tim Zinza,
Okay.
who is an engineer.
Okay.
But Tim has moved into the acting city engineer role with Bob Firstash retiring. So Tim Zinza is gonna take over Bob's seat on the technical committee.
Okay.
And if we have one person that is filling 2 seats on 2 committees, they have to pick one that they can vote on, but they can't vote on both committees. So Mayor O'Neill replaced his seat on the project enhancement committee with John O'Brien.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's all new. Last couple of weeks.
Okay.
Right, then Sheena Small Tracks roundabout construction. Pages 46 and 47 in the packet. This is also an item that Mayor Hopkins wanted to add to the agenda. I know that the borough has been in communication with DOT on this project, so this is a new roundabout on Sheena Small Tracks. And they were interested in seeing how the traffic would be rerouted during construction. But the other nexus with the
Hey, Barbara. Hi, sorry to interrupt. I just wondered if I might have left my day book here yesterday. Is it green
We-
binder?
all around for it.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
I
Okay.
mean, you can do a circle if you
No,
want.
no,
Check.
leave it.
Okay.
I actually had several meetings yesterday, so I just have to,
Maybe it's another place.
yeah, thanks
Good
very
luck.
much. Okay.
Yep.
Bye.
So the other nexus on this project with the borough is that the traffic control plan is proposing to close the transfer site for a month and a half, I believe beginning July 1st. So there's been a lot of discussions back and forth, I believe, between the borough and DOT and this traffic control plan. But Hopkins wanted it on the agenda for a board discussion. I don't know what his ask is or what he would like to discuss tomorrow. So, but is there, And the DOT construction manager as well as the design manager are aware that it's going to be discussed tomorrow. So they may attend our meeting and be available to answer any questions. But hopefully they briefed Lauren as well to speak to this and any concerns that Mayor Hopkins may have.
When is construction slated to start?
I think soon, May or June. They're planning to have this done this summer. Like it's already under contract with HC as of last fall. So.
Wow.
Yep.
I worry about Kentshire. Wow, okay.
Yeah, that's where my kiddo's daycare is off Hampshire.
You know, like you get a lot of residential traffic through Trinidad with the schools and everything going that way. But Kentshire doesn't see a lot of outside of neighborhood traffic. That's going to be a real game changer for that neighborhood for 3 months. And then I think about all the tourists trying to get to the pump house.
Yep.
Yeah, gotta be done.
Yep.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be so cool if we could just have a bike share. Just park people and then they could just bike to the pump house. Just through the construction. Be amazing.
Like that's a phenomenal idea. It really is.
Yeah.
I like that. Or, you know, boat trips.
Yeah, just like have people park at the park
Oh,
and then,
boat trips, yeah.
Have them park at the hotel that they're staying at, Pikes, Princess, and have a boat service that runs them right to Pikes.
That would be
the
cool.
pump house, yeah.
That'd be so cool.
That uniquely Alaskan.
It would be like, here's our traffic control
Yep.
plan.
Yeah, it's all river related.
Yeah, yeah, I mean, we can reach out to someone.
Private industry, just throwing out ideas.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, that'd be a wonderful business.
Why don't we have a water taxi here in Fairbanks?
Right. Yep.
We've wondered that for years.
That would be a lot of fun.
Mhm. Mhm.
Tourists and bar hopping. I
Yep.
mean, all kinds of fun things.
Yep.
Okay.
The next item is gonna be Airport Way. Based on our public survey results, I think we shared these with the board in previous meetings, but yeah, being the ugliest road in Fairbanks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna showcase off from the last, I guess, 3 planning efforts, some of the recommendations and concepts that were recommended for Airport Way.
Okay.
So I won't go over all these with you today, but it's,
Okay.
you know, there's really expensive projects, there's really cheap projects. We presented all of this to all these past ideas, the technical committee. They kind of cherry picked a few things out, like let's get rid of the chain link fence. Let's start there. Let's remove all the chain link fence. But of course, there's complications with that because it's supposed to be a controlled access road and it introduces safety issues if somebody's trying to run across Airport Way that's not at an intersection. There's some other things about, you know, making a new entrance to Pioneer Park directly off Airport Way as opposed to going off 4th Street, I think it is.
Yeah.
And going around. Another one was like low cost thing, convert Barnett Street to 2-way all the way to 10th Avenue. So right now it's just 2-way to Gaffney, which is kind of like a, you know, you just kind of jog in there. But that could improve access to the school and whatnot, if you could make a left-hand turn to get over the. Anyways, there's a lot of different ideas, but it's, the bottom line is Airport Way is, it was built this way with all these frontage roads because it was the east-west corridor before the Mitchell was built, before Johansson was built. Yeah. So it doesn't, yep. See,
Happy birthday to Megan. I will.
See ya.
Bye.
it doesn't have the vehicle volumes that, you know, that it was intended for. And now we have all this excess roadways all over the place and businesses are set far back. And how do you undo some of that stuff without getting really expensive? So, but what we're hoping to do with this is like 1, 2, or 3 projects on Airport Way, even if it's a beautification project, like change up chain link fence with something else, remove it or something, so that we can get it individually listed in a long range transportation plan in the short range and then get something funded in the tip to do something on airport as opposed to studying it, doing planning documents and coming up with good ideas. But like almost none of these ideas have ever moved forward other than, yeah, at University Avenue, there's a new intersection there. At GARS, there's a new intersection there. Airport Cushman, that's in design, will be in construction in a year or two. So there's been some intersection projects, but the corridor at large, there hasn't really been anything done.
I also find it to be the ugliest road. I don't disagree. Until you get out to some smaller tributaries of North Pole, and then I think people would be real surprised. It, other than a few small projects, fence projects, like we could do something like have an artistic wall along that road and make it be something nice, but it is what it is. It's no different than Minnesota down in Anchorage.
Mhm.
It's kind of the same situation. It's a through road that's a through thoroughfare, and we can dress it up with flowers, but you can only put so many flowers into a pile of shit. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm just saying you can only do so much to fix it.
Yeah.
Like the money that they put into trying to redesign and do all of these other projects,
Mhm.
that adds up too. And
Yeah.
what
no, there's
have
a
they
lot of-
really done for the $1.5 million worth of design that they've done, saying, we noticed there's a problem? So yeah, I think diving into it, picking some projects that really do affect what can be done. And other than that, 6 months to the year, it doesn't matter how ugly it is, because it's all wet, just like everything else.
Yep. But then DOT, is responsible for plowing all those frontage roads, in addition to the main line. It's,
It's a waste of resources.
yeah,
So is the thought then to remove
a lot of the recommendations, like for most segments of the corridors, remove the frontage roads. So,
I mean, it's like really, it's valuable real estate. So Corey, obviously with the land use and then transportation planning cross section, has been doing a lot of research about it and eliminating those frontage roads and then leveraging that right of way for commerce. And there are processes, but
Yep.
So you mean be able to build more on the frontage road where they currently stand and have that be
yeah,
developable?
like vacating, like narrowing up airport way, like vacating the right of way. So that can be put back in the tax rolls and construction could go in the areas where the frontage roads are. I mean, a lot of these plans, they remove the frontage road and just have a nice, beautiful path through the area. But that's also may not be the best use of that land.
and it would make one of the biggest ideas is that, as it stands, Airport Way is too wide. That's why those concrete barriers are there, because people fly at speeds that they shouldn't be driving down Airport Way at. But the way that it was designed, it's so wide that it has not been designed to slow people. So there are lots of things that you can do to address that. There's signal timing, there's all sorts of stuff, but ultimately narrowing up the roadway, removing the need for the Jersey barriers by like designing it to maybe curve a little bit or just increase that sense of friction. You've removed the frontage roads, you add a sidewalk, you have benches and streetlights. Like there are lots of things that you could do that I think could happen within 10 years if we had a proper plan to approach it with. All the building stuff would have to come later, but the roadway itself isn't designed for what the use of the corridor is, if that makes sense. I mean, it's just a landing strip. We're gonna provide you guys with 3D visualizations. We're hoping to organize a meeting in the decision theater at the university so that you can just sit and experience like a fly through change of sections of the corridor to understand it a little more.
Cool.
Because it is a lot. It's a lot to take in. Stuff we do every day, but trying to get people.
I mean, this is just on the agenda meant to like anybody in the room, you got something you liked that you want to cherry pick out, like let's let's identify this and work towards funding this thing, whatever that thing is. So we've got a short list of like 5, 6 projects from technical committee. And I'll tell you exactly what all those are tomorrow. But we want to hear from the policy board members, like what are your, when you look at all these concepts in the packet there, what jumps out is you like, I like that, and that would be too expensive. Let's do that. That type of thing.
If we vacated the frontage roads, whose would that be? Would that be the state? Would it be the Fed's property? If that was a way to move forward, and then I would think if I was a business on Airport Way and considered myself to have Airport Way frontage.
Yep.
And all of a sudden you're telling me that I'm not going to have Airport Way frontage and I'm Wendy's.
Yep.
And now Taco Bell could get a small drive-through in front of me.
Yep.
And I'm not Airport Way frontage anymore. I have a real problem with that. That could just compound so many. So who owns that frontage road?
I think you vacate it with, through access easements.
Okay,
So so you could have 3 businesses and then you have an access road between that 3 businesses so that the businesses behind still have access.
okay.
But you're talking about like new driveways on Airport Way. Like, some of these concepts show that though, but you're basically punching in new roads to get up to Airport Way. So it functions kind of more like College Road would. You still have the signals out there, but yeah.
Functions more like a road, not in.
Mhm.
Yeah. And bringing the new businesses up to like a curb line. So, I mean, there's ample space.
Oh,
So
yeah.
If you remove the frontage roads on both sides, I mean, you could realign the roadway to one side or the, I mean, the options are endless. But I think that there would be a way to subdivide that property so that people aren't feeling crowded. And then the other thing is all of the parking lots that are along airport, those are consistent with parking standards that have since been adjusted. And some of those parking lots are just huge. They're heat islands, they're confusing to people. And I honestly think a lot of like that example that you used with the movie theater at Wendy's and then the Summit Chiropractic, all of that, I think a lot of those businesses might actually appreciate direct access off airport instead of trying to explain this whole frontage road thing. So, I mean, it would require a roadshow and outreach and all of those things, but definitely worth having a conversation.
And a few of the frontage roads have already been cul-de-sac. They've been cut off at Cowell Street, they've been cut off at University Avenue.
Teddy Bear, yeah.
Yep. So, I mean, some of that stuff has already happened where like, what's this road for anymore then? Like, what's it for?
Yeah, well, I think from a standpoint of if I was a business owner and there was a piece of property that came for sale in front of me.
Yep.
I don't give, almost 2 shits what it costs. I want to make sure that I own that because it's connected to this and that's my access point and that's my frontage.
Or you could sell it, or you could lease the land to a developer and you would have say in how that development would go.
Or what goes in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Or if like I am the owner of Teddy Bear Plaza and I know parking is always an issue there.
Mhm.
Not so much since Brewster's moved out, but
Mhm.
could I buy that and have that be more parking and better designed parking to make sense for the structure that I already have and make flow better? And then where does that money go? Does it come to the borough? Does it come to the state?
Well, it's state right away currently.
Okay.
So the
So-
state would have to sell it off.
So it might be a good opportunity for the state to actually pick up some funds and not have to maintain, which makes a
I'm
whole
sure
lot.
DOT M&O would love to not have to do these frontage roads.
Yeah.
And especially for the little traffic that goes on them. I mean, they've got a big job already with everything else that take care of.
Yeah. Gosh, when you think about that mileage and width, and then you think
Yeah,
about how
front
those
roads are quite wide.
resources
Yeah.
could just be put elsewhere. I mean, that's like, so how long is Airport Way?
couple miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's at least 3.
So then if you have bidirectional traffic on both frontage roads, so that's 6 miles on one half, 6 miles on the other half. So that's 12 miles of lane maintenance that they're doing that could be deferred to, say, the shared use paths that will get maintained, or other parts of, maybe they could work on the intersections and the push butts and the curb ramps. So it would be wild. It'd be cool.
Yeah. Cool.
So we'll daydream on that one a little bit tomorrow. See where that conversation goes.
Okay.
Let's see. Then the last two things are just informational items. Cool. We have a construction map for 2026, which I believe it's 79. So,
Oh, it's real small, 78. 78, 79.
Yeah, 79 is the Fairbanks, so we just add up in there. Anyways, must have left it across the hall. So what I'm gonna showcase to you all tomorrow on this is that we actually have a pretty good construction season coming up. I mean, healthier than the last couple of years, because there's a number of projects that are already under contract from last year that will start construction this summer. But also on here, there are a few projects that won't go out to bid till the fall. So I guess my hope is that DOT will update this map, because this isn't available on the DOT website yet. This is something that DOT construction gave to me last month. But like the Fast Improvement Program, the 2026 program, it will go out to bid this fall. And I think Trainer Gate F Street, the speed tables out there, is the only thing that's going to be like in contract, has to be constructed this year. And then, yeah, the Fast ADA improvements, which has a bunch of bike path rehab projects in that. That will go out to bid to the fall as well. So some of these things will actually be next year's construction, but yeah, we have the University Avenue South bike ped facility. So from the Mitchell Expressway all the way down to the East Ramp, that'll be a new project. Roundabout at Chena Small Tractor, Chena Pump. They're going to finish out the Chena Ridge and Chena Pump road resurfacing project. There should be some movement on the flood control bridges, or I think it's just demolition this summer of one of the two bridges and moving traffic over to the other one. So that'll be interesting. Yankovich, Miller Hill, I think they did most of the work last year at Miller Hill Road, but Yankovich should be under construction this summer as they continue that project. And then all of the locations for the 2025 Fast Improvement Program, the balance of those, because they did one city street and then like 8th Avenue, and then they did West Tanana Drive at the university last fall, but the rest of it, including some of the North Pole locations, will be this summer. And then Chena Lake access off the Plaque Road, that goes up, that's out to bid right now. We'll get the bids back April 21st. But we're hoping that project gets fully constructed this summer.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
That would be way cool. For most people are gonna think it's cool. There's a few that aren't.
Right. Yep.
But the greater good.
And then being on page 80 of obligations and offsets, and we're up to 16% now, but that's in large part due to Chena Lake getting out to bid and those construction dollars getting obligated. But 21st, I'll know if bids are higher or right on target.
Is Kerry Lane out to bid yet? In the city? That extension of Kerry Lane to the Mount McKinley access road?
I don't remember if that's part of the 25 program that was bid last year, or is this, did you guys just do match and maintenance for it? Or, okay, so that will be constructed next year. That'll be part of the 26 program, I believe.
Okay.
So. Yep.
Cool.
Schedule slipping, but
Yeah, things are happening fast.
Fast planning.
Fast into summer. Like, we're
Mhm.
not that far from May.
No.
And then I'm still waiting on final approval on Old Steves going into construction this summer.
Okay.
but it's all, so far, behind the scenes, it's all been forward progress. There's one last federal approval before they can release HC to go ahead and do that job. I know HC's been wanting to do that this summer, and we approved the funding and the tip, so they can do it this summer or next summer. And cross my fingers that that actually goes this summer, but that'll be one of our most disruptive construction projects in many, many years, widening that out to 5 lanes. Trainer gate all the way up to the Johansson. So, yeah,
5 lanes.
Well,
2 in each direction. And a center turn lane. Part of it has medians where you can't make left-hand turns. But brand new traffic signal right in front of Fred Meyer.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but somehow they finished the right-of-way negotiations with everybody. So,
God, is there even a space in there to take that 5 lanes? Like wow, you're gonna be right up next to the mattress ranch.
mhm.
That'll be kind of a fun case study for, visions for other roads, because again, like you want that friction to keep people responsibly driving. So that'll be really fascinating to see. I guess I missed the memo on that being converted to 5 lanes.
Wow. Yeah, it's always been weird when you've been driving down there and all of a sudden you gotta either make a right-hand turn to get onto Trainer Gate,
Right.
or keep going
Or
straight.
never up in.
Yeah, or pop in. Yeah. And those people who come in from town don't have any clue, that that's if you're coming up.
And if you're trying to come out of Fred Meyer, I mean, it's almost impossible to make a left-hand turn out of that driveway.
It is.
It's just too many cars stacked up.
I always drive around, hit the roundabouts and
I do too,
Go
yeah.
to
I take
Helmer's.
it back, yep, take Homer's.
yeah.
Yep. So. Yeah, and then in addition from Trainer Gate South all the way down to 3rd and Mini Street, be repaving and replacing the sidewalks, so.
Didn't that intersection, are they gonna cut that all up then again?
No, not the new intersection.
Okay.
But they stop at that intersection.
Right.
They'll meet up at that match line where they
Okay.
cut off. So. It'll be a great project when it's done, but. You worry about your robot.
They'll figure it out. They're
What?
so innovative.
They're always on a thread, like in business. Potentially. It's
Oh, you
some of
mean,
these small businesses along the corridors. Construction project make it or break it, so and there's no compensation provided, for loss in revenue from. Anyways, it can be tough for some businesses.
will there be an well,
Yeah, you could go down Herb Miller. They could
build an access in on the backside off of the roundabout there where it kind of ends and dies
yeah, well,
and
yeah,
make that accessible?
here's the Helmerich roundabout. And then if you go down Herb Miller Road, then on the backside of the Fred Meyer parking lot, you can
Yep.
go to the Highway
And the
Road.
contractor has to maintain business access, but it's just sometimes people
Yeah.
avoid the area because it's under construction.
Right.
So some restaurants in particular just don't get the sales that they would in a normal summer. Some restaurants rely on that, get them through month to month and make payroll things.
If that's a concern for the hungry robot, tell him he could just come out to North Pole
That's right.
and set up, because every time he shows, I mean, it's
Yeah. It's a treasure for our community.
it really is. And I enjoy when they're in North Pole. Now we only live 5 blocks away from the L House,
Mhm.
so I can get done with work,
Mhm.
go home, walk,
Yes.
ride my bike down to the bar.
Yep.
Get pizza, have a drink,
Yep. Yep.
walk home, and it's
Wonderful.
like a perfect 2.5 hour, 3 hour date night.
Absolutely.
And Hungry Robot is by far my favorite time to go down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't make it out to North Pole last year, so maybe this construction will help
Yeah,
encourage them.
maybe temporary, relocate.
Yeah.
Temporary or pro.
I'd love that. It's a sixth pizza joint in North Pole.
Yeah.
Oh.
A lot of people.
You do have a few, don't you?
Yeah, bunch of pizza joints, couple Chinese restaurants.
Yeah.
Vietnamese.